Hi guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. If you are interested in this makeup look, I have posted it on TikTok, and I probably will be posting it on my Reels section eventually, but it is on TikTok at the moment. So if you guys are interested in how I did this makeup look and the scary story that goes along with the makeup look, go check out my TikTok. I will list everything down below. You guys can always check out my socials. They're always in my description box down below. And I took a long break from posting on like TikTok, Instagram, all of those platforms because it was very discouraging posting on them and like getting no views and nothing. So I haven't posted in a while, but my TikTok actually does pretty well. It's just Instagram. I really don't post on Instagram that much anymore because it's just a losing freaking battle. But before we jump into the spooky stories, I do want to give a big thank you to Dossier for collabing with me once again. They have sent me 2 more of their amazing perfumes, and I'm very excited to talk about them. So if you guys don't know anything about Dossier, they are my hands down favorite perfume brand, and it's not only because they work with me, it's because they are literally the perfume that I wear constantly. They make the best affordable perfumes, in my opinion. They're always making perfumes inspired by the ones that are already on the market that are very, very expensive that we cannot afford. They are making perfumes that smell very similar, and I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about the ones that they sent me. So the first one that I'm gonna talk to you guys about is the Gourmand Orange Blossom perfume. Orange Blossom, Blackcurrant Hazelnut, Orias Jasmine Patchouli, and Praline Vanilla and Tonka Bean. And this one has the signature package. They always look like this. They are very minimalistic. They definitely suit my aesthetic, and they always come with a magnetic cap that just snaps back on. And this one smells amazing. It smells so good. So this one smells very, very citrusy. So if you like oranges, you'll really, really like this one. It also has a deeper note to it. So if you don't really like floral scents, you might really, really love this one. So the Gourmand Orange Blossom starts as a floral trio of jasmine, orange blossom, and orias blended with a fizzy touch of blackcurrant and hazelnut. As it evaporates, the fragrance develops woody patchouli facets, enlightened with warm praline, brown sugar, and vanilla notes. So like I said, it does have like a deeper note to it, and it does smell really, really good. It is very, very nice on the nose, and I really like it. Also, I love the fact that these perfumes stay on my skin all day long, and sometimes even the next day, I still smell like the perfume I wore the previous day. And the next one that I'm unboxing is the Fruity Almond. So this is one that I already have in my collection, but I wanted another one because I am almost out of my Fruity Almond one that I ordered a while ago. And this one is by far one of my absolute favorites. This one and the Fruity Brown Sugar are my top 2 perfumes that I have in my collection, and I'm super excited that I got another one. So this one is Almond Peach, Orias Orange Blossom, Tuberose, Tonka Bean, Vanilla, and Cocoa. So it has very similar notes to the Gourmand Orange Blossom, but they do smell very different, and this one is just my favorite. Fruity Almond combines joyful peach and almond with a rich floral banquet of tuberose and orange blossom. Next, Tonka Bean, which is sweet vanilla, intense almond, and cacao, is added to the lineup to bring a central thrill. And it is one of my absolute favorite perfumes. So this one retails for 49 Canadian, and the Orange Blossom retails again for 49 Canadian. So if you guys are in Canada, they are 49 Canadian each, and that is very affordable for perfume. I don't know about you, but all of the other brands that I have tried in the past were like 110 Canadian. Like, they're very expensive, and these ones are definitely more affordable. They last on my skin for absolutely ever, and I freaking love this brand. Haven't watched any of my videos before, or you don't know anything about Dossier, they produce classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price, keeping the exact same high quality by cutting all the expenses of the infamous brand tax. They have a risk-free system allowing customers to try the perfumes before committing to them. If they decide to return a scent, they offer a standard 30-day return period in which a customer can return any unsealed 50 milliliter Dossier perfume and get a full refund, no questions asked. They are very affordable. They range between $39 to $50, and some of them are even a little bit higher. They're about $280. So it really just depends on the scent that you want to go for. They have free returns and exchanges forever. They have great bulk deals on their website, up to 25% discount and free shipping for 3+ bottles. They're always adding new scents, and they're always looking for your feedback. So if you love a perfume or you hate a perfume, they want to know about it. So if you absolutely adore a scent and they don't offer it, send them a DM, send them something, and maybe they'll add it to the lineup. So thank you so much to Dossier for reaching out and collaborating with me once again. I am so happy that you guys are continuing to support my channel and continuing to send me your absolute amazing perfume. So this is a paid collab with Dossier. I just wanted to add that in here, but I would never come on here and rave to you guys about a product if I didn't absolutely love it. And Dossier is by far my favorite perfume. So if you guys have any doubts, don't, because they are 10 out of 10, my favorite perfume line, and I have like 15 bottles. That's how much I freaking love them. So thank you so much to Dossier for collaborating with me once again, and let's jump into the spooky story. Okay, so I really hope you guys can't hear my neighbors outside. They're being really loud out there, and I've tried to stop filming for a little while just so that they would shut the fuck up, but they're still talking and yelling, and I don't even know what's going on. So I just really hope you guys can't hear them. But this is from the glitch_in_the_matrix section on Reddit, and it's from the Reddit author Tiger Noodles 1, and I believe this is a true story. The title of this one is called Blue Ain't Your Color. I moved up from Austin to help my family's business. Looking back, I missed out on a crazy real estate run in ATX. I was working for the state, about to buy a house, which was a short walk to downtown. Those houses are ridiculously expensive now. When I moved, I needed a place to stay, and one of my clients that I did business with had a storage facility. My dad mentioned that they had an apartment that was supposed to be up for managers, but the turnover rate was really high at this place and they wanted a more permanent tenant. The space was big, right next to some bar areas I liked. Still kind of in the country with a large balcony, 2-bed, 2-bath for only $450 a month. You just really couldn't beat that. My now wife ended up following me up to Austin 6 months later. She worked from home and was there all day. 6 months to a year after she moved in, she became convinced there was a presence in the apartment. I thought that this was preposterous at the time and would make light of it. After all, this was basically a metal building in a high wind area, and people were moving their things in and out of storage units all around us all of the time. But she swore it was something more. We would have these back and forth conversations about these odd occurrences. Sounds she was hearing, or something was going missing, or the bedroom door was opening. It seemed like a bi-weekly conversation that I'd usually try to make her feel better about through a rational or half-cooked reassurance. I really wanted her to feel comfortable here. And then one night, we experienced something that was pretty odd together. We left to play drinking games and would add a twist and play truth or dare, beer pong religiously a few times a month. But it's just 3 or 4 beers apiece, so we're not getting wasted. Then it happened. We had just bought a brand new TV from Best Buy, and I was excited. Our last TV was trash, and this was a smart TV. We unwrapped it from the box, put it on the stand, plugged it in, and downloaded Netflix. After the download, we turned off the TV and went to celebrate with a game of beer pong before the Netflix binge. In the middle of the beer pong game, she started talking about weird creaking and whispering sounds she could hear. She had heard them from the bathroom that afternoon. I again wrote it off and said, if it was a ghost, I'd be over here checking you out as... Before I could finish the sentence, the TV in our bedroom had apparently turned itself on and was playing Blue Ain't Your Color by Keith Urban. Not just playing it, but blaring it. Both of us just stood there staring at each other and then back at the room down the hall that the music was coming from. We went into the room, still silent, and the TV was on YouTube. I didn't even know that the TV had YouTube. It was playing the song, no beginning ads, nothing, just the song started playing. We both just tried to rationalize it and we left the TV on. Here's the thing though, and I'm going to lose some of you here because it's kind of ridiculous. This isn't the only time this exact same thing has occurred. It happened 2 other times over a 3-month period after this. Both while we were playing beer pong and both with the same song, Blue Ain't Your Color. It was always blaring at a volume we have never set the song to, and the song was relatively new at the time. The 3rd time was the most chilling. We both just stared at each other with goosebumps and said, okay. I reached my hand out and we danced for the whole song. After that, it never happened again, but other stuff did. Another late night a few months later, around 2 or 3 in the morning, I decided to make popcorn. I opened the wrapper, put it in the microwave, shut the door, and boom. The kitchen cabinet next to the microwave flew open, along with 2 bowls and 2 dinner plates that were inside and smashed all over the floor. I froze, abandoned the popcorn, and spent the next 15 minutes trying to arrange the remaining dishes in a way that would cause them to spring out of the cabinet after shutting the microwave door. I stacked them practically in every sketchy way I could think of, leaning against the cabinet, leaning out of the cabinet, and no matter how hard I slammed the microwave door, it had no effect. Finally, my significant other came in and was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Several other weird things would happen over the course of us living there. Oftentimes, it would pick up when things were unorganized around the house, but nothing as bizarre as those instances. That is, up until ironically one Halloween weekend. I arrived at the storage facility after work to find cops everywhere. They had vans, trucks, yellow tape, dogs, the whole 9 yards. There was a whole crime unit there, and some. They tried to prevent me from going into the storage facility and asked what I was even doing there. I told them I was going to my unit and asked if everything was all right. For whatever reason, I didn't want to share that I lived there. They didn't tell me anything and just waved me through. I immediately went into the manager's office and asked what was going on. Apparently, a company was going to build offices in the lot right next to our storage facility, and the cops found something which was later revealed to be the body of a middle-aged woman that was estimated to be 4 or 6 years deceased, hidden in a tree area. Was this deceased lady the culprit? I have no idea, but ever since the remains were moved, nothing has ever happened again in our apartment. Holy crap, that is a lot. So all of the paranormal activity stopped once they discovered the body and moved the body away from there. So that is really, really sad, but very interesting that all of those occurrences happened before you guys came across the body. That is really bizarre. That is very, very creepy. And I'm glad nothing actually happened to you guys in the sense because that spirit seemed very restless. It was more like a poltergeist than anything because it could actually like touch things and move things and cause a cabinet to fly open and dishes come out. I was really getting paranormal activity in that story. It was really fucking creepy. So thank you so much again to Tiger Noodles 1 for allowing me to read their story. They actually DM'd me that one. So thank you so much. That was very, very creepy. And let's move on to the next one. This is from the ghost section on Reddit. And it's from the Reddit author Splonding Seal. And it's titled, "Smelled my grandma's perfume today at home, but she died back in the mid-90s. Me and my family live in my mom and dad's old house, where my grandmother also lived for the last 4 years. So this afternoon, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, working on my laptop, when all of a sudden, I got a punch of perfume that smelled exactly like what my grandmother would wear. It was just me and my wife at home. She was in the living room on her computer, no windows were open, and we definitely 100% don't have old lady perfume in the house. I got up and I started walking around trying to figure out where it was coming from, but it was a very isolated to where I was sitting. I grabbed my wife. She wasn't smelling anything from the living room, but when she got to where I was, she was like, yeah, it smells like old lady. I normally would search for logic in these kind of things, but the really weird thing is where I was sitting was exactly her spot in the kitchen table. And then as quick as it was gone without a remain of any smell. A couple of years ago, I was having a really rough time with anxiety and depression and started seeing loads of moving figures in the shadows, noises, whispers, stuff I mainly blamed on my brain being out of whack. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe there's something here. I don't know. But thanks for listening, kind strangers." And that was their entire post. So holy crap, that is really interesting. That is kind of heartfelt as well, just your grandmother letting you know that she's still around, she's still watching you, and I hope anyone that's listening to the story that is going through anything similar gets just a little bit of comfort for knowing that sometimes when you have a ghost in your house or spirit in your house, it's not always a bad thing. It could just be a loved one just checking in on you. So thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. That one was really, really, really sweet, but at the same time, still really creepy. Okay, so the last story that I'm gonna read is from the Spoopy Cjades section. It is from the Reddit author Big_Bend3487, and it's titled, "A Compilation of Spooky Experiences in My Family." My name is Tegan, and my family and I have had quite a few experiences throughout our lifetime, and I thought it would be cool to talk about a few of them that I can remember. Just to note, I am from England, so I understand if you don't understand my lingo. To start off, I genuinely believe that my nan is deeply connected and sensitive to the other side, just from hearing all of the crazy stuff that she's gone through. She has blonde hair with green eyes, which is a common superstition for those connected to the other side. My first story of my nan is that she told me many times that she can predict death, which I believe she has done twice in her life. She usually just has them pop up about people close to her. She predicted her grandmother and her father's death, which I think is crazy. She also has seen her grandmother not that long after her death, but she says that she went to hug her and she vanished. So when her father died, she just spoke to him and didn't try to touch him, and they ended up having a sentimental 30 minutes with each other as she did some gardening. But he ended up disappearing when her husband came home. During the time her dad was there, she was planting a dead tree in the ground, which had been washed onto the shore, which was completely white and dead, to use as decoration. She said her dad was laughing at her in a way of saying that she's silly for doing that. But when she came back to her holiday home a year later, the tree had sprouted and began to grow. She believes her dad was the reason for this. She also has witnessed her dog after his death and stepped over him, which I thought was kind of cute. All of these stories I don't have proof of, because I wasn't alive at those times. But I truly do believe her because she has told me them multiple times and never missed a single detail out of the story and has never changed from the original. Another thing to note about her is that she will not, or in other words, cannot, enter houses or any buildings or structures where a ghost is evil or they have passed away in a tragic way. Instances of this was when my nan was looking forward to buying a caravan but could not enter it and refused to buy it, knowing something was off, despite not seeing anything at all. She later found out that a man who used to own it was abusive towards his wife and was quite an angry spirit. She's like a walking EMF device. My uncle actually used this information to his benefit and took her to all of his house viewings when he was looking for a house. She also has had a medium come to her in public who stated that she has a gift, and with a bit of training, she could become very successful. But my nan never did because she was scared of ghosts, ironically. My nan also predicted many other things in her lifetime, but a lot of them are very personal, so I will not be including them. Once I was born, I have witnessed ghosts that I can account for in my childhood home, which I still live in. The house always gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I couldn't stay in the house alone upstairs. There was barely any activity in this home, but there has been a few odd instances and just an eerie feeling here. But from what I know, the spirits are pretty friendly. My childhood home is basically a section of an old miner's building, where the mine owner basically lived with his family and workers either across the road or in different sections of the building. My house is just a section, as I lived in an attached house with about 7 other houses, but it used to be one big building, if you get what I mean. But basically, the house is over 200 years old and was where the mine owner and his family lived. I think that the ghost we see is either his wife or a lady who lived here after they were turned into houses. The only time my nan has ever seen this woman was when I was coming to her house, but had to pick something up from my childhood home, which is my mother's house. My nan never entered the house, but she told me that she could see a woman peeking through the blinds looking at her, and only when I entered the house. In this time, I did feel the house felt quite odd, but I never said anything because it always gets shoved off as paranoia. My nan said the woman was blonde and was wearing a cardigan and jeans, and she stood arms crossed looking at her out of the window, and she felt that she was trying to protect me. My nan has entered the house, meaning that the spirit is most likely nice, and she also never harmed us in any way, apart from times our things have gone missing. I've only had 2 times with her when I was younger, which is when she appeared as a face in the curtains, as if she grabbed the curtains and stuck her face through and pulled tight. My mom has also seen that multiple times. And the other was when I was playing on my DS, and I saw a shoe print appear one by one on the camera, with one disappearing as the next one appeared. My mom and dad have seen her many times peeking around the corner of the kitchen into our living room, which has no doors separating them, but instead has an alcove. And my sister has seen her walking up and down the top of the stairs from underneath the bottom of the door to our bedroom. My dogs always bark near the curtain or look at things that aren't there. I still get weird sensations at the top of the stairs, and I feel the need to enter my room or run down the stairs immediately. I also feel extremely unsafe in my mom's room for some reason. I think maybe it could have been the ghost room. I always feel a presence in the corner of her room, which is where a wall used to be that led to the bathroom and has now been replaced by a boiler cupboard. The corner is the only place in the house that feels very uncomfortable or dark, in my opinion. I've had dreams of a little boy in my bedroom, but no one else ever has. I remember him very vividly, wearing a raincoat with a blue striped top and brown trousers. He had blonde hair, which was an old style round cut with bangs. He just used to stand in the corner near the window of my room and stroke my hair, telling me it was okay in hard times of my life. Still freaky though. I've also seen my granddad in a shadow form in a picture. At least I think it was him. I was looking at photos for an art diploma, and you can see the shadow of what I think is a man in the bottom of the image. Other stories, my mother is slightly psychic. Throughout her childhood, she could predict exactly who was in the door or calling on the phone, despite not knowing anything. One time, my father showed up at the door, who had not been seen in a very long time, and she told my nan that it was her dad. My mom laughed and opened the door and was like, "How did you know that?" In more recent times, however, my mom tends to have dreams. She had many dreams of faceless people that have come true years later. She told me that she had a dream of sitting in the living room of her and my dad's old apartment before I was born, surrounded and talking to faceless people. I can't remember exactly what she told me about the dream, apart from what I thought was strange. But years later, that exact same thing happened to her, but with people whose faces weren't there, filled with people she had met only recently. My mom also had dreams of past relatives giving her their final goodbyes. She did have a past relative show up in her room one night. It was her cousin who had died suddenly from an aneurysm at the age of 30. She said he sat on her bed and was comforting her, which I think is lovely. She never saw him again after that. She also had instances of our current house of waking up at the same time every night to someone laying behind her in bed, whispering her name in her ear, and someone sitting at the edge of her bed at night near her feet, which is creepy. As I said, her room feels the most fucking haunted. My aunt has also had experiences since she was a toddler. She does have the typical features as to what people say about being spiritually connected: blonde hair and green eyes. She had an imaginary friend in one house. I think we called him Joseph, but I can't quite remember the story. But my family does believe that it was a ghost. My aunt was a toddler at the time and wouldn't have any mental capacity to lie or imagine his features for as long as she did. Every time they asked her what he looked like, she would say brown hair, blue eyes, with brown and blue striped t-shirt and brown trousers, which thinking about is very similar to the boy I see in my room. And my nan would have to make him dinner every night and leave a space for him at the table. This started from the time they moved into the house and when they moved out of the house. In a different house, however, she had another experience. My nan went to a psychic with my mom, where the psychic asked about her daughter, saying she's scared to go to sleep. My nan obviously said, yes, that's my daughter. She has trouble sleeping since moving to the new house. The psychic told her that my auntie is perceptive of the other side and sees a little girl at the top of the stairs every night before going to bed. The psychic told my nan to tell my auntie that the little girl just wants to be her friend and not to be afraid of her. Since she told my auntie, she has slept soundly throughout the night and wasn't afraid of the stairs anymore. My dad is also weirdly psychic. He always says things to me that I've just thought about or texts me when I'm miles away about things I was just thinking or doing. One example is when I was away at my boyfriend's, which is about 45 minutes away. I was watching some spooky videos online when a bee came into the room. This was the height of summer last year. I tried to catch it, but I was dying. I'm an avid bee lover, so I was upset about it and complaining to my boyfriend on the phone, who was at work. The second I got out of the room and fed it some sugar water, my dad messaged me for the first time that week saying some joke about tell the bee to just buzz off. I had to turn my phone off at that point because there already been so many circumstances close together of him messaging me things that correlated exactly with what I was doing. Generally wondering if he was somehow stalking me, laugh out loud. And that's how they ended the story. So that is very interesting. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your stories. Your stories were very interesting in my opinion. The fact that your dad sent you a text message correlating with exactly what you were doing and he couldn't see you, because obviously that was a joke, but like he couldn't see you, how would he know? That's just bizarre. But seeing the little girl, seeing the little boy, your aunt saw an imaginary boy that looks exactly like the boy that you're seeing now in your house is just really weird. Those are too many coincidences in a row for it not to be a haunting. That is definitely some paranormal activity happening in your guys' life, because everywhere you guys go, all of the different houses seems to have the same activity. So it's definitely following you guys. And I hope that these spirits are very, very kind and they're not actually bothering you guys in any way, but it is very interesting. So thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. This is a fairly long video, so this is where I'm going to end the video. I'm going to edit this. I am going to post it as soon as absolutely possible for you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave me a comment down below with your favorite purple emoji to go with my purple makeup. And again, if you guys are interested in this makeup tutorial, go to my TikTok and you guys can listen to that creepy story because it is very creepy to go along with this makeup. And thank you so much again to Dossier for collaborating with me. It was very kind of you guys to send me more of your amazing perfumes, and I'm super excited to break into the Orange Blossom one because I actually don't have that one yet and I'm very excited. It smells amazing. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any creepy stories that you want to share with me, please feel free to message me either over Instagram or message my email, and I will definitely read you guys' personalized scary stories. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.